Welcome to Chapter 14, Lesson 5, Measuring Angles. Today is this evening or wherever you're watching this from, is a great lesson because we get to introduce the mythical and wonderful beast I like to call, and all mathematicians call, the protractor. Protractor. I love protractors. It's all the fun of measuring with a ruler, but even cooler because it's in a semicircle. I love it. Let me show you how these work. Zooming in, we have a super important point, and this is the center point. You see this hole? That's where we are going to draw the point that forms an angle. Okay, you see how there's always a point? So, when you're doing this, you can put in gotta hold it down tight because as you saw, it was running around. Put that through, and I've created a point. Awesome! And then, these measuring lines can help you draw. So, for example, if I want to draw an angle, I can put this straight line here. Cool. And now look, I have a ray. And look, if I want to make another angle, it just needs to go through that same endpoint. Look, I made an angle. And if I put that little sign in the middle, I have created an angle with my protractor. So we can use protractors to draw angles, and we can use them to measure angles. So let's measure this angle I just drew. Well, we need to know something first, though. We need to know the difference between an acute and obtuse angle. Why? Because there's two sets of measuring on a protractor. One, if you start over here and open up like this, then this side is 0. But if you start over here and open up this way, this side is 0. Okay, so you have to pay attention to, are we starting over here and we start with 0 and go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60? Or are we starting over here and going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? Okay, so you have to be careful because the same line, it could be 80 or 100, so we have to pay very close attention. An acute angle is small. It's less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is bigger than 90 degrees. So looking here, what is this angle? This is an acute angle. A cute little angle. So now we can use this protractor to measure what I just drew. Okay, well, you have to use the middle point and put it on your point. But see this tick line right here? We call it tick lines. This has to be lined up. So see how it's not lined up with this ray? Got to keep rotating it until, there we go. This tick, see it's not even perfect, look. Got to rotate it till it's just perfect. And then I can see where this angle goes. Now I see it's acute, so this means it's opening up with 10. So it's going to be 10, 20, 30. It looks like 40, but I'm not really sure. Because look, it doesn't really reach there. So what I generally do is if my angle doesn't reach, I'll just add on to it. It makes it so much easier than just trying to guess. Just make this nice and long. Because remember, a ray goes on forever. So it's fine if I extend it nice and long. It's just part of what a ray is. Okay, so now when I line it up, my point, make sure it's just perfect. I can look all the way. Let's see, where is it landing? It's landing, okay, so this would be 30, but I can use these to measure. So see, this one's 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Now, it could be 37, or on this side it would be 150. Ooh, it would be going this way, 140. 141, 142, 143. So how do I know if it's 143 degrees or if it's 37 degrees? Well, that's where my knowledge of acute versus obtuse comes in. Well, this is an acute angle. It's less than 90, so I can't pick this one because 143 is way bigger than 90. So it has to be the 37. This is my choice. It's 37 degrees. 143 would be if this angle had started over here and went this way, and we weren't looking at that right. Then this angle would be 143 because it's obtuse. Obtuse. It's a big angle. Okay? We're going to get lots of practice, but I love protractors, and I hope you will too. The protractor is a tool used to measure angles. The length of the rays does not affect the measure of the angle. Again, it doesn't matter how long it is, so we have no problem extending it out if I want to. If I need to measure, I can extend this out as long as I need it to go. Okay, step 1. Henry drew the angle shown, measure the angle. So step 1 is line up the protractor. Place the center of the protractor, this part, on the end point here of the angle with the straight edge along one ray. Okay, so we need to line up this little line, this tick line, with our point. So I'm going to zoom in here, line that up perfectly, and see how this is click into place. Nice. Okay, so now I could measure. Line up one ray of the angle with the 0 on the protractor. We did that. Measure the angle. Okay, but the problem is we can't really measure this because, well, it's too short. So I'm just going to use this to extend it out nice and long. Now I'll be able to tell. And started on this side, 0. So going this way, 60. Ooh, and it looks like it's right on that. Let's see. It's a little hard to see because it's on that tutor button. But it looks like it's perfectly at 65. Okay, now let's look here. This one, they measured, and it was right at 70. So if you can see it there. Oh, it's so tiny. But they've showed you that it's acute, and they went from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it landed right on the 70. Okay. Let's flip it over. We get a chance to try. Measure the angle. First of all, I know this is going to be too short for me to deal with, so I'm just going to extend it out a bit. That way it lines right up with my protractor, and I don't have to guess, because guessing is where we make some silly mistakes. I really don't want to have to do that. Line up the protractor. Okay, so here's my point. Put it on. See how it is? See this tick line? You got to make it perfect. Okay, I did that. Now line up the angle. Okay, so now I have to look at where this angle is hitting. Now, is this acute or obtuse? I know it's obtuse. It's big. So I'm starting over here at 0, so I'm going to use these numbers. I'm crossing 90, and now it's getting big. Okay, it's a big angle, so I'm not going to use the little numbers. I'm using the bigger angle. Where did it land? Not quite to 130. Looks like it's about at 128 right here. Okay. So 128. Now, I think they just estimated a little bit. Be sure that you read the protractor correctly. The angle is 2, so choose 125, not 55. But you know what? I think maybe they just estimated because we just measured it and I didn't see that it was on that line specifically. I feel like it was a little bit more precise. It was 128. Okay. Sometimes it might ask you to estimate. Here's how I'm going to grade you. You have to get within 5. So for example, if the angle in reality, the real perfect measurement was 127, I will give you this as a correct answer if you're within 5. So that means up or down. So you can't be bigger than 5. So you could have 128, 129, right? Okay. 126, 125. Okay, so this is a 5-degree range. I'll give you that. So if this was the perfect one, if you're a little bit less or a little bit more, it's as long as it's within 5, I'll give you the credit. But if you estimate to 130, no. Or if you estimate all the way back down to 124, I'm not going to give it. Okay, so it has to be this close. But we're going to have lots of practice in class. Protractors. I'm just going to draw my own baby protractor here because I'm so excited about it. With all my little elements, got the hashtags, hash lines. Some people call them tick marks. Yeah, very exciting. Okay, I can't wait to measure more with you in class.